time management, the way you manage your time at home, boys and girls, the way you manage your time at home. To be a banker does not mean you watch TV from morning to evening. Imagine, with that remote control. These gadgets, they are there, yes, to be used, but they should not take control of you. I think it should be renamed. Instead of being called remote control, it is called control the other way. It is controlling you. You shouldn't be controlled by that remote. Manage your time very well. And I believe that the work that you need to have in future, you have to have some little experience in it. The process will be guided by who you are. You should ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? There are people who don't know who they are in life. Who am I? If someone asks you, who are you? Who am I would start there and I would say, I am a boy, I am a male, I am a person. Then after that, who are you in life? Once you know whom you are, where are you going? Because in this world, it's a process. You have to start from somewhere and then you continue on that way. Where am I going? And finally you ask yourself, and how will I get there? And I believe with the support of your parents, you are going to reach there. Once you tell them that I would wish to be this and this and this. Have a personal portfolio. A personal portfolio is where you are going to reflect on some of few things. You think about some techniques. And you can even ask some people, who do people say I am? You know, even Jesus would ask his disciples, who do people say I am? And there is the way we see you. There is the way you see yourself. There is the way we see you. Others see you and they can tell you that we see you as this. Are you the person people see you? Are you yourself? All right? So you have to interact with the people quite often. Are you together? And as I wind, I want to say that you have to struggle to get those cues for that specific occupation and the role that you want to take in life. In Kenya, we have what we call Vision 2030, and because we are almost winding with that Vision 2030, in your future years, 2050, whom are you going to be? You have to have that evidence. Wherever you go, as a teacher, we are going to interview you to investigate and find out whether you have those abilities. Do you have that interest of that career you aspire to be? The interest is very important. No one is going to force you. Some people find themselves in a career they are not intending to be just because it is the one that is available. You have to watch your skills. And you have to monitor your attitude and offer yourself for that particular job. Offer yourself. And as I wind up, I want to say that in a career, you have a number of subjects, combination of those subjects, those that are in Form 4 and Form 3. You have to work hard to get those subjects so that you have that combination as you meet the COOPs, the former Joint Admission Board called COOPs today. You'll be able to get that. And because you are going to learn a lot, we are just here to tell you that it is possible. You can make it. You can be a good person in life. You can serve the community. Kuna watu wanasema kazi ni kazi. Ndio, kazi ni kazi, lakini tunataka pia ukifanya hiyo kazi ukuwe na those skills that are necessary. And I am through with my little presentation, and I'm glad to have you here as you listen to these professionals. And I think we are going now to have, Bwana Mudia was the programmer, but allow me to invite, because of time, an entrepreneur, Dr. James Moria and Mr. Kaniaru, who could be here with us. Here he looks like one. Here he is. Give him a hard clap as he comes. Wow. Can you see how an entrepreneur looks like? Mimi sijui kama huyu ni entrepreneur mwenye analisha kuku, ng'ombe, nini, atatuambia, si ndio? Haya, karibu. Karibu, daktari.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. God is good. And all the time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mchungaji. Thank you, our chairman. Thank you, our organizer, Bwana Mudia, for this opportunity to meet these young and great minds to interact with you. As you have heard, my name is James Moria, and I'm an entrepreneur. So I have 10 minutes to do my presentation in 3 sessions, in 3 categories. I'll share my life story, my business life, and what I project to become. So be attentive. So I invited my sons to be together with me today. Just come. Just come. So they are your age mates. So I told them to come with me today. And say your name.
Good morning. My name is Jeremy More. I'm in grade 6. I school at Thika Road Academy, and I aspire to be a politician.
That is Jeremy. He's the oldest.
Good morning. My name is Prince Kiare. I am 7 years old. My school is called Thika Road Academy. I aspire to become a footballer.
And we have the youngest.
Good morning. My name is Ethan Chege, and my school is Thika Road Academy, and I'm in PP1, and I aspired to become a policeman.
So we have a politician, a footballer, and a policeman. So you can go and sit. So let's appreciate. We appreciate Jeremy, Prince, and Ethan. So I was born and raised in Muranga County, in a dusty village of Kirogo. It is near Kahuhia Girls. That is 38 years ago. I attended the Kirogo Primary School. It is a public primary school in the size of Muranga. It's a normal public school. And I did very well. I passed and I joined the Kiagodo Boys High School. It is in Muranga High School. It is in Muranga County. And I cleared in 2001. And I joined Jomo Kenyatta University after passing my exams. And I pursued a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. That is Bachelor of Science in IT. So that is my background. IT is the same course with computer science. And I graduated top in my class. I scored a first class honors. Yeah. I scored a first class honors in my degree, and that gave me 2 opportunities. Opportunity number 1 is that I got a full scholarship to study my master's in Sutherland University in UK, a fully paid scholarship in UK. And number two, I got an opportunity to start my business. So ideally, after I cleared in my final year of the university, I didn't go for employment. I didn't look for an employer. I started my business then, an IT company called Empire Microsystems. So by then, we were offering solutions to small banks, software solutions to small banks that they can be able to manage their data. So that is how I started my entrepreneurship journey. When I was still in campus, I purposed that I didn't want to go for employment. I don't want to become any other thing, but I just want to be my own boss. I just want to start my own company. And I had purposed that that company will be offering IT solutions to banks. And that is what I've been doing all these times. So I have two principles. You can write this down. I have two principles of being an entrepreneur. First of all, can you define who is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is somebody who has a motivation to offer a social problem, who is motivated to offer a solution towards a social problem. Maybe people don't have enough water in their neighborhoods, or people don't have enough security in their neighborhoods, or people are looking for schools in their neighborhood, or the country is struggling with the traffic jam, or those kind of things. It is a social problem. As an entrepreneur, you look at that area and you offer a solution. And of course, when you offer that solution, you make profits. Are we together? You make what? You make what? You make what? Profits. So when you offer that solution to a social problem, you make profits. I have two principles of being an entrepreneur. Number one is something I call reality distortion. Reality distortion. Reality distortion is a state of mind that tells you, regardless of what is on the ground, regardless of the circumstances that you are in today, regardless of how the economy is performing, regardless of the background of your parents, you have decided as a person that you shall make and become that person or that career, or you shall achieve whatever you have already set in your mind. Are we together? Reality distortion. You look at the reality and you don't want to focus on what you are seeing. You don't want to focus on what you are seeing. You want to focus on what you want to become. It might look very difficult. For example, who aspires today, who are in this congregation, to become the president of Kenya in the next 20 years? Thank you. Because it is, there is one. Thank you very much. Let's appreciate him over there. And another one over there. Thank you. So, you understand and you can agree with me that becoming a president is very hard, is it? That is a reality. That becoming a president is very hard. That is a reality. But my principle of entrepreneurship, I call it reality distortion. That regardless of how difficult it is, and you have already set your mind that one day I want to become the president of the Republic of Kenya, you work towards that. Many people will not believe what you're saying. Many people will not believe what you're doing. Actually, your parents will not even subscribe to your way of thinking, but you have already set your mind that regardless of the reality that we have, I'm gonna be the president of Kenya. Amen? Principle number two. Principle number two of what guides me as an entrepreneur is what I call positive radicalization. Positive radicalization. Positive radicalization. Radicalization is another state of mind that tells you that whatever come may, whatever it is, however you'll be stopped, however you will be told it is not possible, however you'll be called names, However, you'll be told that your grades are not good, that you need to pass in mathematics, you must pass in sciences. In positive radicalization, you don't listen to those things. You don't listen to what comes your way. You just focus on what you want to achieve. You're so radicalized that your mind is already shifted, that your mind is already geared towards what you want to achieve, that you cannot be stopped from achieving what you want to achieve. So 2 principles of entrepreneurship. Number one is reality distortion. Don't subscribe to what the reality tells you. Yeah, it tells you that Kenya is not a first world, but don't subscribe to that. Just have your own other way of reality. Who could have imagined, let me ask you this question. Who could have imagined with your mobile phone that you can actually touch it? You can actually touch the mobile phone and it is doing things. Who could have ever imagined that? Are you able to touch your TVs when you are changing channels? You touch on the screens. Are you not on the remote? Are you able to touch on your screens? Your TV screens? Are you able to do that? No, you are not able to do that. But what stops us from doing that? That is reality distortion. Because right now we are not doing it. When you are driving your car, if you don't use the steering wheel, can you be able to give it commands? Take left, take right, slow down, stop. Can you be able to do that today? Can you be able to do that today in Kenya? In Kenya, can you be able to do that? No, you cannot. But in reality distortion says, if you ever purpose to achieve such kind of a product, you can actually do it. And for you to achieve reality distortion, you need to be positively radicalized. That you have already set your mind, this is what I want to do, and what come may, I must do it. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Mmesikia hiyo kizungu? You guys need to be a bit lively. Are you happy? Mmesikia hiyo kizungu? But me, I'll need to go back to my dictionary in the evening. Reality distortion and positive radicalization. But our speaker is going to ask 2 questions only, and he's going to give some gifts. Just 2. So you have 2 minutes, please. I don't know how you want to start. Just 2 and give these 2 gifts too. Yeah, on merit.
Thank you very much. I hear that part. There are two statements you can define an entrepreneur. So who is an entrepreneur?
It's a person whereby when there's social problem, he comes there and tries to solve it.
Thank you very much. Well done. Congratulations. Two principles of entrepreneurship. My principles of entrepreneurship. This side. The one in black. Stand up and be loud. Reality distortion and? Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moria. We appreciate your time. Thank you for visiting with your boys. We appreciate. I've also learned that to be an entrepreneur, it's not just opening a business. You need to solve a problem, a social problem. You solve a problem and then profits will trickle in, okay? We're going to have our next speaker. We're going to have someone in finance. I'm going to invite Elder Timothy. Elder Timothy, you have 10 minutes. 9 and some seconds now.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, I have 9.5 minutes now. And my name is Timothy Kanyua Kariuki. I am a member of this church. I'm born again. I'm a church elder. But besides that, I want to say that currently I'm working with the government. Ni wangapi wanajua gava? Hakuna mtu anajua government? Government of Kenya. Who is the president? Yes? Who is the president? Yes? So, all of us work under Dr. Ruto, who is the president. So, I work in government. So, from a very, very humble background, and I went to Thika High School. When I joined high school, masomo ikanitatisha kidogo. Nikapata shida. My first, when I was in Form 1, when we did physics, I got 20%. Physics, I got 20%. And then I continued like that. So I woke up when I was in Form 2, going to Form 3. And that is when I started realizing, Kube, if I don't work hard, I am going to become, I'm going to come out of school with nothing. So, as I have said, I work in government, dealing with finance and planning. So, I studied economics in the University of Nairobi. So, I worked hard in secondary school, nikapita. Despite that, I had gotten 20%. I passed. I went to the University of Nairobi, where I did economics. And so this morning, I'm just going to touch briefly on finance. And what is finance? Who knows what is, finance is the management of money. Okay? Management of money. I'm sure all of us know what money is. And so, when you talk about management of money, which is finance, we talk about 3 types of, you can manage money of 3 types. You can manage your personal money, si ndio? Si kila mtu anakuwa na pesa yake kwa mfuko. And you can manage that. Number 2, there is corporate. Corporate is when it is a company. I'm saying this because as we choose our careers, some of us may go into the corporate world to manage money. And number 3, there is public. Public ni mali ya umma, mali ya serikali. So you can be employed to manage money for the government. So when you are talking about managing finances, you must be knowing where the sources, where are the sources of finances, and how do you balance. In finance, we have the income part and what? And the expenditure. Lazima utafute pesa, and then when you get money, why are you looking for money? You are looking for money so that you can spend it. And when you are spending, you want to fulfill a need. And so the origin of money is, how many of you have ever heard of barter trade? Barter trade. Barter trade. Barter trade. I want to continue. I want to be asking my questions now because I may not have time to ask questions. What is barter trade? Yes? Yes, simama. Where is the ukipata, you'll get a gift. Is the exchange of? Yes. Haya, tumpige makofi. Exchange of goods for other goods. So that my gift goes to that young man. And so, out of that, you exchange a good with a good. So we are exchanging. Higher. Now, again, so as the world becomes complicated, the economy is a system of many agents. So when we are talking of finances, those of you who will go into finances, know that you will be dealing with money, you'll be dealing with figures. You will, in other words, when you are talking of finance and planning, you are just talking about managing or balancing. You are balancing the money and the needs. Yeah? There is what you want to do with money, and there is the money that you have, and what you want to do with the money. So you have to manage your money. That is what we call finance. And I have said that you have to have the sources of finance. So for some of us who are employed, for me, I got employed. After I left school. I got employed. And so I'm saying you have to have income on this side and expenditure on this side. Okay? So you are trying to, all that we do is try to balance these two. If they don't balance, what happens? If they don't balance, if I have money which is not enough for my expenditure, what do you do? What do you do? The second question. What do you do? I have 100 shillings. My expenditure is 150. What do you do? Mumoja? Yes, simama. Yes?
Go to the bank and get a deposit. Like you can exchange money, you give a bank, then you like get an increase.
It's an idea. Tumpigie makofi. And another one. Yes.
Get a loan. You might get a loan.
Tumpigie makofi. So that is the second one. So if the two do not balance, you get a what? In other words, you borrow, isn't it? In other words, you borrow. And so, what I want to encourage you this morning, for those of you who want to go into the area of finance, those of you who want to go into the area of planning in general, you must be very good in mathematics, isn't it? Sasa tupiga mahesabu kwa sababu one digit. The tricky part with finance is that when you are dealing with figures, if you wanted, how many zeros does a billion have? How many zeros does a billion have? Yes? 9? Any other person? 1 billion has got how many zeros? Yeah? Yes? 9. Na wewe? Nimeona sasa nyinyi mumeenda. Yeah, that is very good. It has got 9. Suppose when you are writing a billion, you write 8. What happens? You write 8 zeros. You write 8 zeros. You write like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You write like that. It becomes a what? It becomes, imagine the mess that you would cause. The difference between 100 million and 1 billion, such a huge difference, and you can be jailed. You will be taken to court because you wanted to steal all the things that we see happening in this country. When we talk about corruption, what is corruption? What is corruption? Yes. Yes? Ati? Corruption is the opposite of integrity. Tumpigie makofi. That is a definition. So because I want to wind up now, just know that when we are talking of finances, if we had time, we would have gone into the depth of finances and see how complicated finances are. I wish I had si mnajua tu pesa ndio inatusubua, all of us, even all these people, even my friend the lawyer there. I'm sure you work so that you can get money. and so that you can be able to manage that money and all the professionals that we have here. Eh? But money is not the only motivating factor, but what can you do without it? Eh? At a feast, those of you who will be going to school on Monday. So, let us just know this in conclusion, that we manage finances in how many ways? We have got 3 types of finances. We have got personal, that is your own money, which depends on your discipline. You have to be disciplined. Even the government has to be disciplined so that you don't continue borrowing. You don't continue borrowing. And we have corporate. Corporate is when you work in a company. And number 3 is the government money, which you may be given a responsibility to spend. Those of you who will study very hard and be employed, you become a permanent secretary, you become, you work with government or in these big corporations, you become finance manager. And when you become finance manager, you deal with these figures. You make a mistake with one figure, you can be jailed for life. Okay? So, as we aspire, let us be, finance people are very keen. The accountants that we have here, they are very keen. They are very keen in those details. So, finance is a good field. Study hard so that you can get the qualifications. All of you go to the university, you venture into finances so that you can be able to manage money even for entrepreneurs, even for our lawyers. Lawyers employ finance managers to manage money for them. Even all the people you have, even engineers. You have an engineering company, you need a finance manager in that. So it is a career that is open with so many openings, and I don't want to take more than that. May God bless you. It's only unfortunate that at least we give a tip so that each one of us will be able to speak. So who qualified for who was the first person? Oh, yeah, okay, come. Which question did you answer? Come. Let us clap for him. Which question did you answer?
The question on barter trade.
Good. The question on barter trade. Tulikuwa na ingine? Oh, yes. Who was the other one? I promised. Yes. Which one did you answer?
You do when the money is not enough.
What will you do when the money is not enough? What did you say?
You might get a loan.
You get a loan, either from bank or from somebody. Thank you so much. So I want to add there. God bless all of you. Thank you so much.
3 factorials. No. Let's start. 1, 2, go. Good. Asante sana Elder. Management of money. Now we have, it's only men who has been speaking. So it's time we hear from a lady, because it's not only men. And I went and requested one of the lawyers we have here, but he told me, no, I cannot speak before my senior. So the senior needs to speak first. So Christine, welcome, please. Please put your hands together. We will come here.
Good morning. Hi, how are you? If you're wearing pink, stand up. If you have anything that is pink, stand up. Stand, quickly. Pink, stand up, pink. If you're wearing pink, stand up. Young, pink, that is pink. Stand up, quickly. If you are wearing blue, stand up and hold your leg. Quickly. If you're wearing blue, stand up and hold your leg. Are you holding your legs? If you are wearing gray, stand up and hold your head. If you are a girl and you're not yet standing, stand up and put your hand here. If you are a boy and you're not standing, stand up and touch your toe. Quickly. If you're a boy and you're not yet standing up, stand up and touch your toe. And then we do a star jump. 1, 2, 3. Star jump. 1, 2, 3. Now we are awake. I have your seats. So my name is Christine. The other name is Muthoga, and I got married, so now I call myself Christine Muthoga Moreithi. I am a lawyer, and I wanted to find out why would anybody choose to become a lawyer? Does anybody know a lawyer? Other than me, do you know a lawyer? Anybody else? You know a lawyer? Put up your hand if you know a lawyer. If you have do you have a relative or a family friend? Yes? If you don't have a family friend or a lawyer who is a friend, I would like you to answer, who is a lawyer? Standard 8, who is a lawyer? Yes?
Someone who defends you in court when you have done wrong.
That's a good definition. It's very correct. Anybody else who knows what a lawyer is? Let me go to the back. Yes.
A person who deals with cases.
A person who deals with cases. Did anybody watch the Supreme Court when they were talking about who is going to be president, whether the election was stolen? Did anybody watch? Did you see people who are dressed like this in court? Did you see them? Did you hear Piki Piki Ponky Paka Mielo Disco? Did you hear that? It was said by a lawyer, isn't it? And now we remember it. So lawyers are people who, lawyers are in the business of helping people. We're in the business of solving problems, yeah? And of course, I know you know the lawyers who go to court, but let me tell you, there are so many other lawyers. There are lawyers who, if you want to be an engineer and you go get a job with the government and maybe you are working in Ketraco, there is a legal department. Do you know why? Because you can never do anything in this life without crossing the law, yeah? Have you ever bought a sweet? Has anyone ever bought a sweet in a shop? Do you know you are doing law? Did you know that? When the person was when you're in the supermarket, somebody put sweets here and chocolates. That is called an invitation to treat. Then you said, I like this chocolate. You took it to the cashier. You told the cashier, I want to buy this chocolate. You know what that is called? An offer. Then the cashier says, you're going to buy it for 20 shillings. Then you say, yes. That is acceptance. Then you give your 20 shillings. That is consideration. Then when you're given the chocolate, that is delivery. Do you know you have done law? Yeah? So let me tell you, there's nothing you can do without touching the law. Who has ever been in a car? In a car? You've been in a car? Yes? The driver, if he's stopped by the police and he's told, do you have a license? And they remove their license. Do you know how they got that license? Because the government took him to, took themselves to school. They were given an exam. They passed the exam. They were given a license under the Traffic Act. Wakili, tuko hapo. That is where we are. If you don't have a license, what will you do next? You'll be arrested. Then you'll call me. You'll say, Wakili, a quick one. I'm here at this police station. I've been arrested. Yes? So there's nothing you can do in this life without law. Even if you said you did finance. Did you do a course in law? What was it called? Finance law. So you see, even as much as they say we are lawyers, he had to study law. Muchugaji, when you did your course, did you do any course in law? Law in society. He had to be forced to do a course in law. Which other profession do we have? Engineer. Who is the engineer? Did you have to do any course in law? Law of tort. So you see, whether or not you want to become a lawyer, you have to practice law everywhere you go. Now, right now in Kenya, we have 15,000 practicing lawyers. It sounds like a lot, eh? 15,000. Means we'll feel here, we'll feel there, we'll go to the next school, we'll feel it. But the population of Kenya is how many right now? Guess, how many people are there in Kenya? Speak up. How many? Those are the number of registered voters. Population, yes?
50 plus million.
50? 50?
50 million.
50 million. So we're about 53 million, which means there's only one lawyer for every 3,000 people. It means right now in this room, there are not enough, you're not even 3,000, and there are not enough lawyers, yes? The problem is us, we want to practice in Nairobi, but let me tell you, we need lawyers, we need you to come and join us, we need you to go out into the counties and help everybody, yes? One lawyer for every 3,000 people. So there is space for you, and we are waiting for you to come and join us. Now, I'll be quick because I also want to give my colleague a chance to talk. There's this book called Outliers. Have you ever heard of it? I want to share this book with your chairman and with your reverend, and I want him to share it with you. Outliers by somebody called Malcolm Gladwell. Now, this book is a story about the most influential people in the world. So they have studied Bill Gates, they have studied Warren Buffett, they have studied the Serena Williams of this world, they have studied the people who are the best athletes. And they have done their research and concluded that for you to become the best in anything, for you to become the expert in anything, you must do 10,000 hours of that thing. 10,000 hours. Do you know, I can calculate for you how many of those hours are. Okay, 24 hours in a day. Maybe you sleep 8. Maybe you eat for 2. You go to school. Yeah? So already you can see the hours, Zinaisha. If you do 5 hours, 8 to 9 to 10 to 11 to 12 to 1, that's 5 hours. Half a day. Yeah? If you do 5 hours every day, Monday to Friday, that's 25 hours in a week. You multiply that 25 by 4. That's 100 hours per month. You multiply that by 12. That is 1,200 hours per year. How Jafika? It is like 10 years of consistent doing the same thing. Am I shocking you? Yes. So if you are 20, for you to become the expert, doing half a day every day of that thing, you will be 30. Before we say, Christine, if you want to talk about intellectual property law, that is the expert. Yeah? 10 years. If you want to be who said they wanted to be a footballer? Okay. Now, if you want to be a footballer, you cannot play football at 30. You have to, your best football is when you're like 20. When you're young, your bones are very good. You can heal if you break them. It means you have to have started at like 12 for you to be playing professional football at 22. 5 hours every day, January to December, for you to be the best footballer. That's what it takes. So, if you want to become a lawyer, and not just any lawyer, the best lawyer, what do you need to do? 1, you have to be in debate club. You have to be debating. You have to be arguing, and not arguing with the teachers. Arguing on points, yes? If there's no debate club where you are, where is the closest debate club? Is there a debate club in my church? Is there a debate club in my estate? Okay, there's none. John, let's start a debate club. We join. Stella, please join us. We're doing a debate club. Yes? That's how you do debate. Then when you start debating, you start looking for who to other clubs to debate with, right? When you get to high school, then when you graduate, you go to mooting. You start mooting. So now you're arguing like to Kokotini Supreme Court. We are arguing you have a judge who's going to decide who's going to win. Even if you don't win that case, that experience adds to your 10,000 hours. If you want to become a lawyer, you have to start reading the law. What does the law say? Yeah? If my mom wants to buy a piece of land and she's going to see the lawyer, Mom, can I come with you to the lawyer's office? When you're in the lawyer's office, you say, by the way, Wakili, will you give me 1 week to come and just follow you around? I see what law is about. They'll not tell you no. They'll tell you, okay, when you close school, come for 5 days. You follow them to court. You follow them to a meeting. You follow them and see what they do. That is part of your 10,000 hours. Yeah? So anything you do, whether it is law or any other subject, you just know, have I started my 10,000 hours? Sawa sawa. So now allow me to call Wakili John Nyoike. He's going to take us through what subjects you also need to think about when you want to become a lawyer.
Wapi makofi ya wakili. Thank you very much, my learned senior. So one of the other things about our profession is we have respect for our seniors, okay? So if you are in a court and you have your senior, the senior is supposed to address the court before you. So Christine is my senior. So my name is John Mundia Nyoike. The other Mundia is my senior cousin, and he asked me to come. Oh yes, he's here. And he made sure I came dressed like a lawyer. So thank you. He's my good cousin and mentor. Yeah. So my senior has talked a lot about what you need so that you become a lawyer. I will share a bit also using my own story. The other thing, apart from being a good debater and a good communicator, you also need to be a reader. Tell your neighbor a reader. Mtu anasoma vitabu. And for me, this started at a very young age, when I was around your age, when I was in primary school, to a point where I was in an academy and there was a library. A library was started during our time. And I was always in that library, reading things, magazine, anything I could get my hands on. I was there reading it. Up to a point where I was made in charge of the library because I'm always there. So that's the other thing. The life of a lawyer is the life of reading. And you just don't read about law, funny enough. You will get a case about engineering and you will have to study. You will have to take those engineering books and study and be able to present to court a case as well as an engineer would present it and explain that point. So that's the other thing. For subjects, there was a question and somebody answered well. You need English, first of all, because English is your language of trade, okay? Of course, in our context, you also need Kiswahili because you will be in places where you need to use Kiswahili. And I've seen a lot of lawyers struggling when now they start switching in Kiswahili and you have to start asking questions in Kiswahili. So English is the main. I think you need a B or a B minus. I think a B. You need at least a B. You also need mathematics. Interesting enough. You need mathematics to be a good lawyer. Of course, you need the other humanities, the history, the geography. That one helps you to understand the concept or to understand our country, okay? So I knew I wanted to become a lawyer when I was like your age, around 10 years. But for me, the defining moment came in 2009. I was going to Form 4. And if you can remember your history very well, that was the year where we had the first African American president of the United States. Who knows him by name? Let me pick over there. Yes, Barack Hussein Obama. Now, Obama broke so many records. The first African American president and so many other things. But what stood out for me is that he was a lawyer. and he was also a very good communicator. He was an orator. He was also of Kenyan descent, and he had a very good message. Yes, we can. And so I realized that the dream that I have always had, my dreams are valid. And interestingly, if you look at the history of the United States, out of the 46 presidents, do you know how many were lawyers? 21, including the current president. Who is the current president of the United States? Joe Biden. Yes, he was also a lawyer and still is a lawyer. So when it comes to career opportunities for lawyers, you can become a lawyer or a courtroom lawyer. You can become, okay, there's a difference between a lawyer and an advocate. Let me explain that. When you do your degree for 4 years, you get a bachelor's of law degree and you become a lawyer, okay? But you cannot represent anyone in court, or you cannot do the business of a lawyer. So you have to take 2 more years of what is called an advocate's training program. That one is done at Kenya School of Law. So once you complete the 2 more years, you become an advocate. There's a process, there's a long process, but you now become an advocate of the High Court. You are given a license to practice as a lawyer in Kenya. And without that license, you cannot represent anybody in court, or you cannot do any business as a lawyer, okay? So you can become a lawyer, but if you need to practice, you need to become an advocate of the High Court. Once you become an advocate, there are other opportunities. You can become a magistrate. You can become a judge. By the way, what's the difference between a magistrate and a judge? Do I have goodies to dish out? This is where they come in. Who can explain? Please stand. Please stand and explain. What is the difference between a judge and a magistrate?
A judge is whereby he judges at the higher courts, such as the Supreme Court, High Court, and so many others, while the magistrate judges at the magistrate's court.
Thank you very much. Please have this. I hope you also become a lawyer. So that's the difference. A magistrate is in charge of the lower courts, okay? The magistrate courts. But from the High Court upwards, the people that preside are called judges. So those are other career opportunities. You can also become a prosecutor. Who's a prosecutor? Let's have someone else. Prosecutor. You don't want my gift? Yes, over there.
A person who makes laws.
Okay, good try, but not yet there. Is your hand up? Yes. I can't hear you. Please come again.
A person who institutes legal proceedings.
On behalf of? You're almost there. You're almost there. You're halfway there. Anyone else? Hakuna mtu amewatch vioja mahakamani? Hey, siku hizi. In our days we watch vioja mahakamani. And there was a guy who was dressed like a police, and he was called kiongozi wa mashtaka. So a prosecutor is that kiongozi wa mashtaka. And actually nowadays all prosecutors, they are required to be lawyers. In the past we used to have police prosecutors. So finally, look at there's also a lot of opportunities in leadership. Look at our parliament, so many lawyers. Look at our senators, the Senate. There are very many lawyers there. The governors, I think we have 5. And so there are so many opportunities. Lawyers, we just stand out, okay? So that's how we end up a lot in leadership. So those are good opportunities also for you to think about. Finally, please work hard. Please read. And I shared that I used to read a lot when I was your age. And one of the things that happened, one of the outcomes that happened during that time is that I ended up being the top of my class. Just like that. Just by reading a lot, okay? And so I want to encourage you, please get off the gadgets, get off TV and all that. Hizo zitakusaidia. Okay? Get something and read. That thing, even if you're not studying to become a lawyer, that thing is it's called a reading culture. And that is what we are lacking actually as in this generation. We don't like books. We don't like reading. We just want to be on social media. Okay? But we need to read books. So that is my challenge to you. Yes, I'm done. Thank you.
Wow. Are you happy? Did you like that presentation? Yes. By my two, can I call you learned seniors? Because I'm also going to start my legal studies now. You guys enjoyed that presentation? Yes. Anyone who has something to say? Anyone? Anything? No one? Oh my goodness. No one? Anyone who wants to become a lawyer? Okay, anyone who wants, maybe after that presentation, would want to become a lawyer. Maybe he would want to change his or her mind. Anyone? Yes, I've seen a lady there. Thank you so much. We appreciate. You guys did not give out the gifts. You had so many. Yes, Christine has a question. There is another mic.
What is the name of the Chief Justice? Hey, which side does not got? Over there.
Martha Koome.
Martha Koome, very good. What is the name of the Deputy Chief Justice? Hey. Who to choose over there? Backbenchers.
Philomena Mwilu.
Hey.
Any other question? Christine, you have another question? When do you have a question? So guys, let me tell you, I've gotten a few things. Number one, I have seen opportunity for all of you. If you heard what those two friends of ours, the lawyers, have said, we only have 15,000 lawyers. And the other thing I have seen that as a lawyer, you can also, is it piggybacking? You can piggyback other professions. You can become a governor. You can become a speaker of the National Assembly or the County Assembly. You can represent anyone. So I've seen opportunity. You guys, you need to tap onto that opportunity. I would also like to echo what Mundia has said. Please get off your, you'll need to be louder on that. Get off your, you'll need to be louder. Get off your gadgets. Let's get off the gadgets. Let's read. Let's read. I can attest to what Mundia was saying. This boy, when you're traveling, he used to have a book every time. And I'm sure even now, I don't know, do you have a book in your car? I always try to read, but myself, I find myself sleeping. I don't know whether. Now, we are going to, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. What you're going to do, I would like you to, if anyone has a question, maybe is afraid of asking, write it down, bring it to me, or you can bring it to anyone here, and then we are going to have them answered after the sessions. We're going to go for a very short break, a 5 minutes break. Are we going to keep time? You go for a break. I think there is some water. We can give them some water. Everyone can get a bottle of water. Pick the bottle, come here, go for a health break, and then we meet here. What time is it now? It's 11:15. We meet here at 11:20. God bless you. Thank you.